Hello, Dr. Karen Can. Welcome to this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. And if you're new to my channel, would love for you to hit the subscribe button and perhaps the notification bell so every time I do a new video, you will be notified. So today's topic is around dimensional water. Now, over the last week or so, there have been a number of sensitive souls, myself being one of them, noticing that our bodies are kind of swelling. Like, not for me terribly, but definitely more than it has been. And I've actually been relatively diligent in doing some lymphatic self-massage, and that was helping until this happened. So what's the swelling about? We got a chance to ask some deeper questions the other day around it, and the answer was pretty surprising. So when we swell, sometimes we think, okay, well, is it, the medical person would go, oh, well, maybe it's your heart, It's not that. And last week we talked a little bit about Ascension related swelling, having all those source codes come in through the crown, and we take some time to process it, and we gave you some hints on how to do that. This week, the swelling is not related to that. No, the swelling is related to water as the being it is, going from a dimensional state to a physical state. So let me back up a little bit. There's this really interesting book called The Water Code by Rainey Marie Hiley. And she's an interdimensional communicator, if you will. And the being that she is communicating with is telling her things about water and saying that, water has a lot of information. Some people would call them secrets that have not been completely and totally shared with humanity because we are still, in some ways, in our infancy of ascension, growth, spiritual acumen, if you will. And water is letting us know with this latest shift from the dimensional to the physical that it is now ready to share some of that information with us. It's not that it hasn't been sharing the information, but it's kept a lot of it that has been inaccessible to humans. But this week has been different. So what does it mean, a dimensional shift of water? Well, in my kind of linear mind, it's sort of like going from a different dimension where most humans cannot see, feel, hear, touch, that in that dimension, those things in that dimension. And basically alchemically shifting to a form that we can actually see, hear, feel, touch, etc., etc. So literally the water that exists in the dimensions, yes, that was very important. The water that exists in the dimensional realm is now visible and seen and felt in our three-dimensional world. Now, why would that happen anyway, right? So the answer I got from Source was that water has a lot of information, and the information that is coming through to us because we have reached a certain degree of ascension, if you want to say it that way, or awakening, spiritual awakening, is information on love. Not the frequency of love, not the understanding of love, but specifically information related to love. Now, I didn't get much further than that, to be perfectly honest. I really didn't know exactly what question to ask. I think that we will have an exploration of that ongoing in the future as well. But it's very interesting. So our personal experience is that, water just appears in our body. So, many people have the misunderstanding that if they're swelling, that they should drink less water so they don't swell. It's actually the opposite. You need to actually drink more water. And in fact, so for some people, some sensitive souls like myself, we actually need to drink more electrolyte water or salt water. There's something about healing, energy, frequencies, recalibration, stability in these forms, in this body, that requires that for many, many, many sensitive souls. When you don't drink enough water and or salt, you actually swell. Now, even if you have been drinking water, salt, whatever, really, really well, and you've been urinating really well, because a lot of people have said, well, I hasn't changed. I'm still urinating. It's not like I'm keeping what I'm drinking. I'm actually still able to pass it. So why am I swelling? Well, literally, it's like the water is just appearing in your body. I know this is such a weird thing to share with you. Honestly, like, how do I explain this to people, you know? Just imagine for a moment. I'm not saying it's 100% true. This is I'm just the messenger, okay? So this is what I'm getting is that water is ready to share some of its information and secrets with us and is appearing in the bodies of sensitive souls who are like the conduit, if you will, of this information. And we're actually peeing that information out. Yes, I said it, peeing the information out. And I thought, that's funny. I thought, wait, maybe we're holding it, keeping it sacred, you know, like process it. No, we're peeing it out. Why are we peeing it out? Well, it's a way in which to spread the information to the world. Now you're like, it's just going into my septic tank. Like, how is that helping? I don't really know exactly how that works, but somehow across the world, this may be a phenomenon that is happening, that water is entering our 3D realm through the bodies of those that can be the doorway or portal to the water shifting dimensions from their dimension to our dimension. Whatever, you know, they have decided that is okay with them. Yes, water is a being. So let's just get over the thought that they are not. Yeah, so this information about love is to support us, help us. And we've come to a place, which is a good thing, we've come to a place of a higher vibration, if you will, so that water is willing to share some of its secrets. Now, why wouldn't water be willing to share its secrets? Well, you know, some of those secrets are very powerful manifesting secrets, I believe. And let's just say in the wrong hands could be, you know, devastating, you know, to our world and humanity. So water is just biding its time to share more of its dimensional self with us when we are ready. And so this is a step, I believe, in that direction. So if you are a little bit confused, I don't blame you. I would highly suggest that you check out the Water Code book. I think it's one of those books that I'm going to have to read a number of times to get it all. There is an activation in there, by the way. The whole dimensional nature of water was like a big, you know, for me when I read it, but it really resonated. It made so much sense to me on some level, not on a logical level, but on some level, it was like, oh, you know, so maybe it does for you as well. Now, for this week's Topekan Healing Activation, we're going to do like a mini piece of a fluid protocol or water management protocol that we have in our Topekan Level 1 training program, Light Warrior Revolution, a bunch of Topekan Healing Master Classes, advanced level kind of stuff. So I'm just going to do the directives, some of the directives from those training master classes, just to help you, if it's for the highest and greatest good for you, of course, there's nothing forced, to be able to release the water in a very efficient way. Now, of course, your job is still to hydrate well, right? So we're talking for most people around 64 ounces, that's about 2 liters of water per day. And honestly, you know, you may want to muscle test, or you may want to just check in to see if salty water with Himalayan crystal salt, for example, is good for you. Because for me, honestly, I have not drank plain, like a lot of plain water for months now. It just doesn't appeal to me. But salt water does for some reason. And that may not be you. It may just be, you know, certain people like me. Maybe I was a mermaid in another life. I don't know. But it has been really helping, and it's helping with some slimming to some degree, helping with, you know, elimination, and I think staying strong, being able to build muscle, have endurance. It's quite interesting, in addition to all the other tools that I use. So, so feel it out for yourself. feel what's right for you. I'm not your medical doctor, so I can't really tell you or prescribe anything to you. You have to choose and feel into whether my experience is relevant to you. So let's go ahead and do some Topekan healing activations. The idea here is I'll speak into the field, the universe, the quantum, what it is we desire to do healing for ourselves. And then if you want to receive, just make the intention to receive right now. We'll get into the still point together, and then I'll speak the directives, and we'll kind of go speedily through all the different directives, and your job is just to notice what happens in the body. As you notice the feeling in the body, you are here, you are now, you are present, and you are with me in the quantum. And that is the fastest way to auto heal. So you ready? All right. So if you're new, you may not know what this is, but we are rubbing our hands together to get some heat and energy flowing in the body. And then relax. If it's safe for you to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. Focus on the inside of your body where your hands just were rubbing. Feel the energy in the hands, whether it be tingles, waves, pulses, and follow the flow of that movement wherever it goes. This is called stillness through observing internal movement, or STOIM for short. So continue following the flow wherever it is in the body. And without having to change it, without having to try to do it, just continue following the energy. So continue monitoring that while I do the directives. Ready? Here we go. I now command that our fluid management system be optimized, maximized, highest and best way all directions of time with speed, ease, and grace. That our urinary bladder system, including the kidneys, the ureters, the bladder, the urethra, and all its connections, especially with the lymphatic system, be optimized, maximized, and harmonized in the highest and best way all directions of time with speed, ease, and grace. Is now commanded that the energy that is transferred from water, what's called exclusion zone water, and transferred into our bodies be optimized, that process be optimized, maximized, and made as efficient as possible with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way. It's now commanded that any bulk water that we no longer need, that is to be eliminated from the body, be eliminated with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way. It's now commanded that the cellular hydration in our bodies be optimized and maximized with ease, speed, and grace, and anything preventing it be completely healed. It's now commanded that the receptors for thirst, that taste, thirst, be reset and rebooted and healed in the highest and best way. And it's now commanded that all these healings be done with ease, speed, and grace, all directions of time, and all timelines where we exist, we're allowed. And for this, we give our gratitude and blessings, so be it, and so it is. Okay, so if you had your eyes closed, you can certainly open them now. Just kind of feel into the body. Would love to get some comments down below this video. What was that like in your body? What did you feel? Did you notice a shift? You may or may not have, but I'm really curious. And if you have noticed some swelling, and this can be periodically, it goes up and then it kind of settles down, goes up. But if whenever you are watching this, I'm curious whether or not you have noticed kind of a sudden swelling without changes in your hydration, the amount you drink, without changes in your elimination. And just give me some feedback on that. That would be great. So I do have a couple of announcements this week. Number one is on Monday at 12 noon, we are airing a podcast with my good friend Sally Estlin, and she is a beautiful healer in Australia. And we're going to be talking about her clothing line, and on YouTube, where we have some of our podcasts now, we're actually going to be showing you some of them as well, and they are beautiful. It's so funny, like why do clothing manufacturers not use color? But Sally is doing what I absolutely love, is using a lot of color. And not only that, the clothing have a little pocket where you can put a stone in there for different intentions. It's like brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And for those of you that have my Ascension 3, you could even put your little pendant in there or a bead or something like that. So it's actually really, really cool. And I did not know until I spoke with her that the clothing industry is the third most wasteful industry on the planet. I had no idea. You know, I would just be like, oh, let me buy this as a bamboo. Well, not all my bamboo is made equally. And that would explain a lot because sometimes I'll buy something, like I think I bought bed sheets or something one time made with bamboo, and I just wasn't impressed. I was like, I don't know. My body's like, I don't really like this, right? And then I bought something else made of fair trade organic cotton. My body's like, oh yes, I love this. And I was like, well, bamboo's supposed to be good, right? Not always. So we're going to be talking about how the fashion industry actually works, what she found out as a healer creating a new business, a fashion business. Also talk about, how is their clothing line different? And hint, hint, it's really great for mature women with curves. Also, the magic of intention, how we can use intention, our clothing, colors, like very, very intentional in just what we wear, what we don on. And a little bit about the story about nurturing oneself in inspiration, be able to create something new. Because I had no idea a year or two ago that Sally was ever going to do anything like this. She was amazing at workouts. She was a trainer. She's a healer. Clothing line? Right. So I think that story in and of itself is very, very interesting. So check it out. Monday at 12 noon, we'll be airing that podcast. And then upcoming events next week on Tuesday, we have our monthly mini healing with me. So we'll put the links below where you can register for that and also put in your intentions, because every month, whatever intentions you have, you get a 24-hour healing basket. So whether you're live or you're watching the replay, your intentions, your desires for healing will be placed in that healing basket. So all of our beautiful love healing energies can go towards the manifestation of what you desire. So always looking forward to that because they're so, so fun. And last but not least, well, not last actually, second last, the LifeWave Q&A. We are actually doing that a little earlier in December because of the holidays. So Dr. Dennis, who was with us a couple of weeks ago, he'll be back doing a live Zoom with us. So you get another chance to put in your question. We can't deal with all the questions. We have so many people, but what we're doing is just taking a look at the questions, seeing what we have answered in the past, what we haven't answered in the past, and trying to put together maybe themes as well to help as many people as we can during that 90 minutes. So if you're available, that Zoom is at 2 p.m. Eastern on Monday with Dr. Dennis, and that is live. So we'll put the links below where you can actually, put in your requests, your questions for Dr. Dennis and me. And now, last but not least, we had a fantastic time, December 2nd, Saturday, for the first 2 modules of the Light Warrior Bootcamp 3.0. And that's the program where we teach sensitive souls how to heal from entity and ET interference. And it's done with love, not with fighting, not with hating, nothing like that. And this is completely revamped from the Light Warrior Bootcamp 1.0 and 2.0. In fact, the personal healing, which was possibly our biggest module. I mean, we did all sorts of healing. We worked on the horror line. We worked on the assemblage beam. We worked on, of course, specific entity testing and clearing, boundaries, source team upgrade. Oh my goodness. And I think the astral cords, what else do I got written down? Implants, right? Oh my gosh, so many things can be connected. So this is probably 5 times or 10 times bigger than the original. So we did a lot of clearing and healing, and we also did a multi-dimensional property and land clearing training and healing. So why am I telling you all this? Well, originally we were just going to close the cart and go, well, if you didn't make the first class, too bad. However, the staff and myself at the Academy of Light Medicine decided that we wanted to empower as many sensitive souls as possible to be able to learn at a mastery level to clear entities and ET interference, and get as much from live interaction with me as possible. So since we have our modules 3 and 4 coming up on December 16th, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to open the card up again. So by the time you hear this or see the newsletter, we will have that card open, and you can still get in. Now, you might have missed the first live class, but thanks to the Watch, Learn, Heal process and quantum time advantage, it doesn't matter. Once you get to that part of the replay, the healing works for you if you allow it to, even if you weren't there live. Of course, I'd love for you to be there live. Occasionally, when we do the live session, there will be something extra that I need to know about someone before something will clear from them. And if they're live on the call, I can actually ask them a question if necessary, or ask them how they feel, before and after the healing. So that's the one tiny advantage of being there live. So I'd love for you to be there live on the 16th if this resonates with you. So I'll put the link below. And we are keeping the $100 off through the 15th anyway of December. So if you are like, shoot, I missed that deadline. Okay, now you can join us on the 16th. And one more extra bonus. And nobody had to twist my arm about this because, I love doing this stuff. So one extra bonus. Everybody who enrolls in the Light Warrior Bootcamp 3.0, including those that had 2.0 who upgraded to the 3.0 to get in on the live sessions, I will be doing an extra Q&A and live demo in January. So details will be forthcoming for those of you that are in the program, and that'll be really fun because we'll actually do demos. So we'll actually pick individuals, to actually do demos on them. And yeah, some of that stuff will be even more advanced, but I think it'll be really fun. And of course, it'll be recorded and archived for years to come. So join me at the Light Warrior Bootcamp 3.0. I'll put the link below and hope to see you live on the 16th. And that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me, Spiritual Medicine Digest, this week, and I look forward to chatting with you next week. And remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe, and then put your comments below. How did that activation feel for you? And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.